Welcome to the video that will uncover the mystery behind why Japanese people seem so similar. Have you ever noticed how Japanese people seem to share common traits, behaviors, and characteristics? Despite Japan being a diverse country, there is an uncanny similarity amongst its people. But why is that? Is it just a stereotype, or is there something more to it? In this video, we will explore the surprising answer that will shock you. Before we get started, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be the first to see our latest videos. The homogeneity of Japanese people can be traced back to the country's history and culture. Japan has a long history of isolationism, which has led to the preservation of its traditions and customs. Japan's early history was marked by a period of feudalism, where a rigid social hierarchy was established with the emperor at the top, followed by the shogun, the daimyo, the samurai, and the common people. This rigid social hierarchy contributed to the development of Japan's culture of conformity, respect for authority, and group harmony. These cultural values are deeply ingrained in Japanese society and have contributed to the homogeneity we see today. For example, Japanese people are known for their polite and respectful demeanor, their emphasis on group harmony, and their aversion to conflict. Another significant factor that contributes to the homogeneity of Japanese people is the education system. The Japanese education system is known for its emphasis on discipline, hard work, and conformity. From an early age, Japanese children are taught to value group harmony and to put the needs of the group above their own. The education system also places a great emphasis on rote learning, which can lead to a lack of creativity and independent thinking. The Japanese education system is highly competitive, with students competing against each other for top grades and university admissions. This competitive environment can also contribute to the homogeneity we see in Japanese society. Students who do not conform to societal norms or who have different interests may be seen as outsiders and may face ostracism from their peers. Japanese society places a tremendous amount of pressure on individuals to conform to societal norms. This pressure can come from family, peers, and even the media. Japanese people are expected to conform to societal expectations in terms of behavior, dress, and mannerisms. The pressure to conform can lead to a lack of individuality, as individuals strive to fit in with the group. This can also lead to a reluctance to express oneself and can contribute to the homogeneity we see in Japanese society. For example, Japanese people tend to dress conservatively and often avoid standing out in a crowd. Another cultural factor that contributes to the homogeneity of Japanese people is the concept of jiri. Jiri is a sense of obligation or duty towards others, and it is deeply ingrained in Japanese culture. Japanese people feel a great sense of responsibility towards their family, friends, and society as a whole. This burden of responsibility can lead to a lack of individuality, as individuals put the needs of the group above their own. Japanese people are also known for their strong work ethic, which can also contribute to the homogeneity we see in Japanese society. Employees are expected to work long hours and to prioritize their work over their personal lives. This can lead to a lack of diversity in terms of hobbies and interests, as individuals may not have time to pursue other activities outside of work. To illustrate these points, let me share some stories from my personal experience living in Japan. When I first moved to Japan, I was struck by how polite and respectful everyone was. People would go out of their way to help me, even if it meant going against their own interests. I remember one time when I was lost in a train station, and a kind stranger took the time to walk me to my destination, even though it was out of their way. However, I also noticed that people in Japan tend to avoid conflict at all costs. I remember a time when I was in a meeting with Japanese colleagues, and there was an issue that needed to be addressed. Rather than speak up and voice their opinions, everyone remained silent and avoided the issue altogether. This reluctance to express oneself can contribute to the homogeneity we see in Japanese society. Another example of the homogeneity of Japanese people can be seen in their fashion choices. While there are certainly trendy and fashionable individuals in Japan, many people tend to dress conservatively and avoid standing out. I remember going to a music festival in Japan, and everyone was dressed in similar outfits, with no one really standing out from the crowd. However, I also witnessed the flip side of this homogeneity when I visited a rural town in Japan. The people in this town were proud of their unique customs and traditions and went out of their way to preserve them. This town was known for its traditional pottery, and the locals took great pride in their craft. This experience taught me that while Japan may seem homogeneous on the surface, there is still a great deal of diversity and individuality to be found if you look for it. In conclusion, The homogeneity of Japanese people can be attributed to a variety of cultural, historical, and social factors. Japan's history of isolationism, rigid social hierarchy, and emphasis on group harmony have contributed to the development of cultural values that prioritize conformity and respect for authority. The education system, social pressure to conform, and burden of responsibility also play a significant role in shaping Japanese society. While the homogeneity of Japanese people may seem surprising to outsiders, it is important to remember that there is still a great deal of diversity and individuality to be found if you look for it. Japan may be a small country, but it is home to a rich and complex culture that is constantly evolving. That's it, we've reached the end of the video. If you made it this far, you're one of the best people out there. Before you go, make sure to give us a like to let us know you enjoyed the video. And if you have any questions that pop into your head in the middle of the night, feel free to leave them in the comments below so we can answer them for you.